The trainable menu is this idea to simplify and semi-customize an individual's workout program based on their needs. You take a restaurant menu. Everyone at the restaurant gets a drink, everyone gets an appetizer, everyone gets a main, everyone gets dessert. But you get many choices for those things. So for example, you'd be like, okay, client X will choose one drink, and that could be like this warm-up or that warm-up. Now they need to get their appetizers. So maybe the appetizers, like in PPC pillars, is the athletic shit. So they can do pogos and med ball slams. And then their strength, which would be the green shit. You can pick this squat, this knee dominant thing, hinge, this hip dominant thing, push, overhead, and then trunk, extension, right? So, okay. So that's kind of the idea. Use the menu. So I've had people ask me about golf lately, so I'm just going to use that as an example. Let's use a trainable menu for a golf athlete, and let's say they're a teenager. Okay, let's say they're grade 10 to 12. So still kind of developing, not yet adult, like amateur golf athlete. All right, cool, let's do it. What does it look like? Well, we gotta have a warm-up. All warm-ups need joints, so we gotta hit feet joint, foot joint, ankle, whatever. Knee, hip, lumbar, thoracic, T-spine, foot, shoulder, neck, whatever. The bolded ones over here are gonna correlate more with what we need for golf. This would be the warm-up that I had. So we get a lot of hip, we get a lot of low back, we get a lot of thoracic, we get a lot of shoulders in those 7 moves. You choose 6 to 10. In a warm-up, you want to think about how do we utilize space. So in PPC, we usually go ground up. We start on the ground in the warm-up, and we move on up. That just maximizes the flow of things. Well, golf, you don't know how they're going to use this. This needs to be like a warm-up maybe on the course. So they kind of look weird if they're getting the white pants on the grass to get stained. So we start feet up, and that's why I chose those exercises. In movement, we have 3 planes. Sagittal, which is front back, that's all weightlifting. Frontal, which is side to side, and then transverse, which is 360. You really want to try to have a lot of the last 2, frontal and transverse, and I got a lot of that with the warm-up that we had. And then the last thing you think about a warm-up is you need to sort of increase body temperature, in general. So how they got to be able to hit a ball or whatever. Do we get it enough? Yeah, I think so. Golf's the thing where it's long, and we're kind of just walking around a lot. It's not like basketball where we have to start dunking right away. So they don't need to be sweating a bunch. That's why I think the movements that we do creates enough tension. The ISOs create tension. The marching, there's an ISO. We're getting up and down. Then we finish off with some lateral hops. It's a pretty good one for a golf for a golf athlete. All right. So athletic stuff. If we're doing a trainable menu, what do we need? We need lower athletic and upper athletic. So we can do, for a golf athlete, it's pretty straightforward. We do loaded jumping, maybe some velocity jumping, frontal plane jumping. That's side to side. That's kind of what you need for a golfer. Upper athletic. We need to rotate. We need to rotate a lot. So a lot of med ball variations we can really put in there to solve all those needs. And then maybe explosive push and pull variations, but that gets a little bit more complex. We just need to create lower body power. There was the science review once. Club head speed, so not golf ball speed, how fast you move the club, it's not accuracy. Highly correlates to trap bar, squat, jump performance. So if you can do that really well, you're gonna have a lot of power to generate force for the club to hit that ball potentially far. Now we have strength, we gotta push, we gotta pull. We got to try to do some unilateral stuff because they need to move their hips. They need to have this ability to have relative motion instead of orientating. But you still need to put force into the ground. So, that could be pushing would be something unilateral versus bilateral. So a bench versus a dumbbell. Get a little bit more freedom with the dumbbell. So pull, we got pull up versus a cable pull down. Get a little bit more freedom with the cable. So squat, what are some 2 or 1-legged things? Again, I think we can kind of benefit more from the one. And then this is an interesting one, trunk, so the blue stuff in PPC pillars. We really need to think about the trunk for golf as a utility to express force, to transfer force from lower to upper, and then upper to lower. That's golf. So we need to think of the trunk more like that. So one thing I would make sure that we put is that we do stuff that creates a lot of max force. And rotation. What else is needed from that individual? That would be part of the accessory that you can put in. I put an example down below of someone having golfer's elbow. So this is what it's gonna look like. Okay, they gotta do some athletic lower. Well, Choose one of, boom. So they got a lot of options there. Maybe they do that. All right. Now choose one athletic upper. Why don't we do a med ball side shot put? Great, rotation, good, sorted. Okay. Now we're into PPC pillars, our strength stuff, our green stuff. What about a push? Let's keep it simple. Simple better. Dumbbell alternating incline press. Boom. Now they got their push. All right, pull. Maybe we put a tall or half kneeling cable, pull down. Now we get a little bit of split stance, get a little bit of hips in there, killing kind of two birds with one stone there. Okay, we're gonna hinge. This is an interesting one for golf. I would either go trap bar deadlift because it's just, like from studies, it's so correlated with golf. Kind of an easy one for people to do. I mean, if it's a PPC person, they're doing some sort of B stance RDL hinge variation. So that's their hinge, okay? Now we've got a squat, step up variation. Pick your poison, whatever it is. This could be like 20 different things, but just trying to keep it simple. Trunk, I'm gonna assume they're not with me. So how do we keep this easier? And maybe they don't have a cable machine if they're not with me. I don't know. Let's just say they don't. Let's just do a side plank variation. That keeps it simple. Done. Okay, now this person might have golfer's elbow, so we need to put some sort of tricep and bicep exercise as in a special position, maybe overhand, maybe underhand, depending on what they need for their specific issue. And we'll add that in there. Now, from the menu, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 things. You're done. You have your workout plan. That's trainable menu. And now let's say they need to work out twice a week. Well, why don't you do like a day 1 and choose this? And day 2, you just choose something else. And then you can cycle between your day 1 and day 2, so they're 8 different things. And then there you go. Now you have your trainable menu, and this guy's sorted out for the summer if he wants, Christmas, whatever. I did this in 5 minutes. So I guess for people watching this, if they want it, this is what a trainable menu looks like. You can apply this to any sport based on the needs of the individual. I didn't put sets and reps because that's not what I'm talking about today. If you want to understand how we do sets and reps, here's 3 links on PPC pillars stuff, and auto-regulation would talk to you about sets and reps. And then there you go. That's for everyone. Pretty straightforward.